Now at 10, results of a vote recount on the abortion rights issue in Crawford County, Kansas. Plus, a man's in custody following an overnight stabbing in Joplin. Iola, Kansas unveils their new elementary school. And a Webb City Little Leaguer gets to fulfill his dream job.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
The results are in for the Crawford County recount on the constitutional amendment question on abortion. This is KOAM News at 10. The County Commission today received the results of that recount. On August 2nd, Kansas voted overwhelmingly to reject a ballot measure that would have removed protections for abortion rights from the Kansas Constitution. The margin was about 18%. An anti-abortion group had sought a recount in 9 of the state's more than 100 counties. More than half of all votes were cast in those 9 counties, and Crawford County was among them. The results in Crawford County: 4,653 votes for yes, 5,847 votes for no. The number of no votes increased by 2 in the recount. The number of yes votes did not change.
We had to go back and recheck and make sure every precinct had the correct ballots in that pile. So it was a pretty long and painstaking recount, but we did it, and we are very happy with the results.
In the Kansas counties that have been reported so far, recounts do not show any substantial difference from the original counts. Recounts were still underway in a few counties, and those results are due by tomorrow. A man is in custody after a woman was stabbed multiple times in Joplin. It happened shortly after midnight this morning at Joplin's Ewart Park. The victim was conscious when crews rushed her to the hospital, and at last report she was in stable, non-life-threatening condition. Police say they arrested a suspect without incident more than 9 hours later. No word yet on formal charges. Authorities have released the identity of a woman found dead in a Lamar, Missouri home yesterday. She's 35-year-old Beatrice Adriana Moreno Martinez of Thousand Palms, California. An autopsy was to be performed today in Springfield, but authorities have not yet released the cause of death. Law enforcement across the 4 states are on the hunt for this woman, Nguyen, a Mcdonald County, Missouri woman accused of shooting her husband while he was sleeping. Authorities found Harold Nguyen shot to death in the couple's fifth-wheel camper west of Anderson, Missouri in November of last year. Dawn was arrested and charged that day. She's been out on bond awaiting trial, and according to the Mcdonald County Sheriff, part of Nguyen's bail conditions required her to stay at her mother's home in Pea Ridge, Arkansas. Well, now Nguyen is missing, and her bond, as you might imagine, is revoked. Investigators say she might be headed to northeast Oklahoma, but she has ties in southwest Missouri, specifically to Joplin. Sam Lane joins us now with a first look at the weather.
Thank you very much. It's been a beautiful day for the most part across our area with warm temperatures, and look at radar starting to light up a little bit, and that's welcome news, especially up toward our north and west. You can see some showers and storms earlier tonight. They're kind of dying away just a little bit, but notice there's more storminess back to the north and west. And so tonight, that's where the best chance of storms is going to be, is up in our northern sections. Live radar showing just a few sprinkles around Fort Scott, extending down to Erie and Chanute, and then back towards Fredonia. But as I mentioned, other storms back towards the north and west, and that will start to impact our weather as we move into Sunday. If you're heading down to Pineville for the Jesse James days, it looks like it's going to be a pretty nice evening. 68 degrees by tomorrow morning, but notice as we go through the day, scattered showers and storms are going to be possible as we head through the afternoon. I'll have more details coming up in just a few.
All right, we'll see you then. It's a new era for students in Iola, Kansas. The new elementary school in Iola was unveiled today at an open house. The Iola School District is home to 3 elementary schools, and officials wanted to consolidate them into one larger new school. Officials look to make the transition from elementary to higher grades easier with this new school.
We want to have a lot of community spirit here and school spirit, so we're going to do a lot of things with like the middle school and the high school and have them coming down, you know, the football team come down to talk to them, the cheerleaders, you name it. We want to get those kids excited for the next level when they go to middle school and high school.
The new school expects to hold nearly 700 students. As the new school year is set to begin, the new Mcdonald County Curriculum Director is holding district-wide meetings for all Mcdonald County schools. The Purpose is to make sure the curriculum and teaching materials across all districts are up to date. The new director says having the same and correct curriculum are key.
And so it's allowing us to use this time to just not necessarily make changes, but to make sure that everybody's familiar, acclimate new teachers, talk about resources that we use, and just put everybody kind of on the same page and ready to go as we open up the school year.
Mcdonald County Schools begin classes on Monday. Today is the Pittsburgh State University Marching Band's last day of practice for their week-long Pride of the Plains Marching Band Camp. This summer, the band has had some big changes in their leadership after a death of their longtime director, Doug Whitten. The new interim director is not a new face for the band, as he's been practicing and observing practices.
I've always been at rehearsals and I've been at games and I've kind of like been part of that group, so I feel like I kind of know everyone and they know me a little bit, so it's been a very smooth transition from my end anyway.
The marching band hopes to see everyone at their first performance of the fall semester at Pitt State's home football game that's on Thursday, September 1st. Mark your calendar. Cherokee Nation has a rich history, and to help preserve it, Chautauqua, Kansas has hosted a nap-in every year for the last 3 years. Napping, K-N-A-P-P-I-N-G, is the art form of shaping stones by hitting them and making stone tools or weapons, or even building walls. At the Neosho River Nap-In, participants get to learn the art of making arrowheads.
Well, it's part of my heritage, for one. For two, it's an art that's dying away, you know, and we don't want this to go away. This is amazing, you know. The natives used to do this, and they're a slow dying race, and we're just keeping that alive.
If you're interested in learning napping, you still have a chance to stop by. That event goes until 6 p.m. on Sunday. Coming up, we're going to go on a tour of the newly reopened Thunderridge Amphitheater in Branson, Missouri, and later how a Little Leaguer earned the deal of a lifetime. The Association of Immunization Managers recognizes a woman in Joplin for efforts to promote immunizations. The group named Michelle Yarnall Missouri's immunization champion. Yarnall is the administrator of Pediatric Associates of Southwest Missouri. She's recognized for an innovative plan to make sure patients were served during the pandemic. Those patients included children. Bass Pro's newly expanded Thunderridge Amphitheater is set to reopen in September, holding up to 50,000 people for events like major concerts and bull riding. Reporter Liam Garrity gives us a tour of the facility south of Branson, Missouri.
They're literally moving mountains.
Moving piles of land all at once. For now, the only movement is the ground and the wind. But the community won't have to wait long.
It's a massive facility, and the great thing about it is it's a multi-use facility. So we'll have lots of special events that we can announce in the future.
Jeff Wilhoit with Big Cedar Lodge Marketing says all this land will be turned into the reimagined Thunderridge Nature Arena, packed with luxury suites, general seating, lawn areas, and 15,000 hidden parking spaces. But people who live nearby have different stances on the new venue.
Johnny Morris has done a lot to help the area because he's really improved a lot of the area around here, a lot of the roads, as far as the entertainment.
I just can't believe it's going to be 50,000 people, you know. We can't handle that many people.
From views to the mountains to the lake, this original 10,000 seat amphitheater will turn into a 50,000 seat amphitheater in just 39 days. Wilhoit says they are working with state and local officials and a traffic pattern company to help with traffic, but people in the area may have to get used to more cars.
It's going to mess up the roads, it's going to mess up our yards, there's going to be too much traffic.
Johnny Morris would have the foresight to see that he would probably improve some of the roads to handle the traffic. That wouldn't be a problem.
Wilhoit says the views from the new area will be hard to beat as builders took inspiration from Table Rock Lake and structures across the country.
People are going to be blown away when they come here. I don't think there's anything like this facility in North America. It's going to get people in close contact with nature.
Country superstar Garth Brooks performs at Thunderridge on October 1st. Not that far off. Tickets go on sale next Friday. They're available only through Ticketmaster. Cars lining up and fresh popcorn being bagged up. That usually meant showtime at the 112 Drive-In in Fort Smith, Arkansas. Well, after this month, the theater is going to close. The area manager, Jimmy Terry, says he worked at the drive-in since its opening back in 42 years ago. He even picked the property where it sits. Due to the change in media, he says there isn't much film any longer, and he says the challenge came with the theater being open for only 6 months in the year. Coming up, we're going to hear from a little leaguer on his dream job becoming a reality.
And I know everyone's dreaming about some rainfall, and radar has that. I'll have that and your forecast coming right up. Well, it was another warm August day across the 4 states, right around normal actually for a change. We've been above normal for quite some long time, and right now this evening it's pretty pleasant out there down in Seneca, Missouri at the Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. A pleasant evening indeed. Just a few high clouds floating by, and that's about it. No precipitation down there. There is some precipitation down south in the Gulf of Mexico, and that's because we're watching a low turning into Danielle. And by tomorrow morning, we expect Danielle to be around 40 miles per hour and then coming ashore in northern Mexico, just south of Brownsville, Texas, by about 7 p.m. tomorrow evening with 45 mile per hour sustained winds. Then it will start to weaken as it moves up the Rio Grande Valley and dissipating into a low by Sunday morning. But the good news is lots of rainfall, lots of rain across Texas, and they are in desperate need of a good soaking down there, and it looks like they are going to get it. I wish we could say the same, as we have been in a drought here in the 4 states and continue to be so, with the extreme category over the Joplin area extending back towards the west. But everywhere is dry and everyone could stand a little rain. Speaking of rain, look at the radar. There are some storms out there, just a few scattered showers right now from Fort Scott down to Chanute and Fredonia, a little bit more over in northern Bates County, north of Butler. But notice more storms back towards Emporia. That's moving to the south and east. So it looks like our northern counties tonight have a pretty good chance of getting some rain in the old rain gauge. Temperatures right now are in the 70s right now, 78 in Joplin, 79 in Independence, a little bit cooler up in Yates Center, where they're 77 currently. And the dew points, they're higher up to the north too, because where the moisture is starting to pool along that cold front. But generally, some places are pretty comfortable, like Mount Vernon with the dew point of only 59. And so that means over there in Mount Vernon, it's not too bad as far as the sticky scale. Here in Joplin, we're sitting at partly to mostly fair skies, 78 degrees. It feels like 80 because the dew point's 64. And the pressure is currently rising. Here's a look at the future forecast. You can see that there is a boundary that's going to be moving through, but it's going to wash out. And by tomorrow morning, we'll see lows in the upper 60s to right around 70 degrees. Then tomorrow afternoon, another front drops down from the north. This is a stronger front, so we could see some storms tomorrow. Some of those could be heavy to severe, but that's very isolated. Then as we go into Sunday morning, the front moves to the south and temperatures dropping into the upper 60s in our area. Then on Sunday afternoon, pretty pleasant. Partly cloudy skies with highs in the mid 80s and northerly winds. And then as we go through into Monday morning, still pretty pleasant. Low 60s up to the north and mid 60s elsewhere. All right, let's take a look at the rain tracker. Again, not everyone is going to get a lot of rainfall, just a few hundredths, maybe a quarter of an inch in most places. So just be blessed if you happen to get some storms over the next 24 to 36 hours. Here's that marginal risk of severe weather tomorrow. We'll keep an eye on that for you if anything gets out of hand, but we're not really expecting a lot of severe weather. Here's a look at the 7-day forecast. 85 on Sunday, 88 on Monday, and then as we start to work, it looks like temperatures in the 90s, but Dow, at least it's not near 100. And then as we look at the extended, same thing.
Yeah, we'll take that. You know, August in this part of the nation.
Yeah, it could be much worse.
It certainly can. Thanks, Sam. Dreams really do come true. A Webb City fast food restaurant helped turn one Little Leaguer player's dream into a reality. KOAM's Amber Jenkins has more.
During a Little League World Series game, Brody Jackson caught a local restaurant's attention by saying he wanted to become a chicken nugget tester.
We heard it kind of got passed down from Wendy's. They said, hey, you know, this kid said he wanted to be a chicken nugget taster. let's do something with it. And it's just kind of over the past few days has been something that we have, has gotten traction, and we've gotten together with the team and gotten together to come in tonight for dinner.
Brody is Wendy's first chicken nugget tester.
Not to my knowledge, no, but this is going to be a first, and it's going to be a unique situation. And
ESPN tweeted about Brody's dream job.
Yeah, it feels pretty good. Seeing that they reposted it and seeing all the attention that it's getting.
Wendy's awarded Brody with free chicken nuggets for a year.
It feels really good. I'll get chicken nuggets a lot this year.
The chicken nuggets made him smile, but Brody enjoyed his season with his teammates more.
Overall, we did a pretty good job at regionals, and really proud of how we did it.
Reporting in Webb City, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
Good for him. Webb City Little League team finished runner-up in the regional tournament. Still ahead, we're going to hear from the Baxter Springs Lions as they aim to rebound from a winless season. And it's Jamboree night for Missouri High School football. Jacob Litter joins us with the highlights from Webb City and Carl Junction.
Doug Hetty has earned...
Well, tonight is Jamboree night for Missouri High School football. We have a couple to get to this evening, starting at Webb City High School. The Cardinals host Joplin, Lamar, and Seneca this evening. First session of the night, Webb City versus Lamar. Cards put it on the ground. Alex Wilkerson there for the recovery for the Tigers. Later, same possession, same side, Braden McKee floats it up to Dante Washington. Nice grab there for the Webb City touchdown. Now, other end, Joplin facing Lamar, Seneca rather. Look at Drew Van Gilder going to the far side, breaking tackles, tiptoes down the sideline, eventually in there for the Joplin touchdown. So we go to session 2 now. Lamar and Joplin. Joel Beshore drops back for Lamar, looking, finds Logan Kish in the end zone. Touchdown Lamar. The other side, it's Webb City and Seneca. Landon Johnson to Cole Cavett. Cavett only needs one hand over there. He gets into the end zone. Pretty good night for everybody, 1 week out from the start of the regular season.
I think we play in the best jamboree in the state for us, getting the chance to come play Webb City and Joplin, a Class 5 and Class 6 program. For us, we just can't impersonate that speed in practice, and for our kids to get to see that and have to run to the football and try our best to tackle, it was really good for us being able to have that scrimmage going into week 1.
Heading to Carl Junction now, the Bulldogs host a jamboree with Carthage, Nevada, and Monette. The Tigers on offense in the first session. Cooper Jadwin at quarterback. Finds the big target, Hudson Moore, in the end zone. Other side, Carl Junction quarterback Dexter Merrill looking downfield, but 6'6" Drew Beechler jumps in and grabs the interception. Later, though, Merrill hits Malachi Moore in stride for the touchdown. This play actually worked a few times tonight for the Bulldogs. The last pairing of the night, Avius Stedman for Nevada. Takes the handoff, gets outside, runs by everybody for the touchdown. Lots of action from the night. You can find more highlights on the sports page at KOAMnewsnow.com. The Baxter Springs football team is wrapping up their first week of fall practice. And the Lions are aiming to get things headed in the right direction this fall after going 0-9 last season. Baxter Springs had to play a lot of young guys last year, so they do return quite a few starters this fall. Now, the strength of the team moving into the season, no doubt, the guys they have at the skill positions, and that includes a newcomer at quarterback in Payton Gaines.
I'm really excited about Payton. This is his first year back in football since, I think, middle school. He's looking really good back there, so I have full faith in him. I think he'll do great.
Leadership is the correct word. I think he's a great leader. I think he'll do a good job of rallying our players, and so we look to him to provide that for us.
Halfway through the summer, we found out he could play. We've been throwing with him, running plays through. Quarterback last year, Javen Alexander, he moved to wide receiver. He's great out there. So having him and a couple other guys for him to throw to, it'll be exciting.
Our skill guys are pretty good, and I think we're really about as good as anybody in the conference, to be honest with you. We're probably going to try to rely on that and try to get the ball in the hands of our skill guys.
The Kansas City Chiefs will play at home tomorrow afternoon, facing the Washington Commanders in their second preseason game of the year. And the Chiefs had their final practice at training camp in St. Joe yesterday. Here's quarterback Patrick Mahomes on his takeaways from camp and facing his own defense the last few weeks.
if you're dominating on offense every day and they're not doing anything, it's usually a bad sign because you know it's going to be a kind of a tough year. So you want it to kind of be mixed. I mean, obviously as an offensive player, you want to dominate every single day, but you know there's going to be days where they have their day and they're going to go out there and compete and have those competitors. And I mean, you want a little trash talk. I mean, you don't want fights necessarily, but you want trash talk and you want guys competing because at the end of the day, that's what makes great football teams and makes it's guys on both sides of the ball competing every single time.
The Kansas City Royals hit the field tonight for Game 2 of their 4-game series with the Tampa Bay Rays. Now, the Royals' bats have gone cold the last week, scoring just 3 total runs in the last 4 games. Tonight, Kansas City tries to get the bats going and snap a 4-game losing streak. They do get it done tonight, winning 3-2. Bobby Witt Jr. goes 1 for 4 with a 2-run homer. Now, in the National League, St. Louis Cardinals, a little more fun to watch. They open a 3-game series with the Diamondbacks tonight, aiming for their 5th straight win. That one's still going right now. Cardinals are up 1-0 in the bottom of the 6th. The Dow got a first taste of football. I had to shake off the rust with the camera a little bit, but it felt good to be back out there for high school football.
It's like preseason for you too, and the rest of the sports team. We'll be right back. Take time now to honor a local veteran. Ernest Troth served in the U.S. Navy. His hometown, Pleasanton, Kansas, and we are proud to salute AMS-2 Ernest Troth, a 4-state hero. The weekend weather looking not too bad, Sam.
Not too bad. Storms tonight, mainly up to the north, and then again tomorrow afternoon, mainly down to the south, high of 89, but then it turns dry, but at least we're not going to get super hot with highs right around normal, which is around 90 degrees this time of year. And then they extended, it continues right on to next weekend with maybe a chance of storms in and around the area.
Whatever storms we get, those
Absolutely.
will be welcome for sure. Final sports note.
It's definitely football time tomorrow. Of course, the Chiefs play against the Commanders. Also, we'll have our season preview for the Southeast Lancers right here tomorrow night.
Looking forward to all of it. Thanks for joining us. Let's make it a great weekend.